On today's show, could Deandre Ayton make his way to Dallas? We've got headlines that may be coming up this offseason, and we're going to respond to them. Coming up on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. He hits! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being part of the show, making Locked On Mavs your first listen every day. Join the Raccoon Squad, be an everydayer, and subscribe or follow for free. Just search Locked On Mavericks wherever you get podcasts or on YouTube, where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day and to comment anything below. Let us know in the comment section. Would you take Deandre Ayton, considering the cost, the salary, the trade? Would you take him on the Mavs? I'm very curious what people think about that, so let us know there. If you want to, today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. If you want to support the show, text us, get text alerts from us. It'll be ramping up right out soon. Now that the lottery is here this week, it'll be ramping up with more news and info and all that kind of stuff. So subscribe to our subtext, click the link in the description below, text the number in the description as well. And joining me, as always, my co-host, writer, contributor at Mavs.com. The headline homie, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Well, we just watched Philly implode, so that was
a lot.
Kind of enjoyable, I guess. I don't know.
I wasn't like rooting for their death. Were you?
No, I was actually wanting them to win the series. I was rooting for Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic finals, but oh well. Okay, out of the teams who got eliminated in the second round, who looks the most different next season?
Ooh, well, we already know the Suns. So it's Suns. The options are Suns, Sixers, and Knicks, right?
And Warriors.
And Suns, Sixers, and Warriors, and Knicks. All four of them. We already know that the Suns fired their coach, so I think that's already like a big piece. I can't imagine any other big piece. Maybe Bob Myers from the Warriors is gone, but it seems like those
could be gone.
Seems like those three guys are going to stay together with the Warriors, though. But yeah, I'm going to guess the Suns to me, because Ayton could be gone, Chris Paul could be gone. Like, who knows at that point? I think they're the team that looks the most different.
I know it's like them, Golden State. I mean, Philly could blow it all up. I mean, I was joking. I was like, Doc could be headed to Phoenix. I mean, we could see Joel Embiid pick and roll with Jalen Brunson next year in the Big Apple. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, Houston's already putting up their Harden poster. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
I texted a Philly guy of mine today and said, hey, make sure you pre-order that Julius Randle Philly jersey.
The thing about the Sixers losing, though, is like, I don't know that it was about they're not having the right pieces, it's like I feel like they had the pieces to do it. It just, their stars were so bad in Game 7. Like, how can you just can't win if your stars are that bad. I mean, some teams have overcome it in games, like the Lakers against the Celtics that one year. Kobe had that awful Game 7 they end up winning, but it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's tough. It's weird because you get to the second round and it's supposed to be this like, hey, I mean, come on, you made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
And now we can see these massive changes for people who get, and I mean, you look at Monty and, Bud, they faced off in the finals a few years ago. Now they're both canned. I mean, heck, they might just switch teams, but
that would be weird. Yeah, the coaching carousel is so strange to me. Mavericks still have their coach and Jason Kidd, so we're just hanging out. The coaching carousel for the Mavericks is just the assistant coach spot that still hasn't been resolved. So we'll see at this point, if Frank Vogel doesn't get a job, it seems like that could be an opportunity for him.
Oh, please.
That would be great. I think we would take that absolutely. But today's show, we're talking about the news. We'll talk about the teams that got eliminated recently. We've been doing this every Monday when teams get eliminated, and we're talking about Isaac's going to give me some headlines that could happen in the future, and then I have to react the way that I think I would react and the way that the Mavs fans would react to this upcoming headline. So Isaac Harris, hit me with the first one.
Oh, here we go. All right, so let's just go ahead and get this out, because somebody could clip this and be like, all right, is this real? These are fake headlines, all right? like Twitter
news.
Shams Woj bombs. I'm gonna read it like it's real, but these are fake. All right, let's just get this out there.
Glad you clarified that for everyone.
All right, first one.
Okay.
It's coming up in like a month. Shams notification hits your phone.
Yeah.
It says
Pre-draft?
no, post.
Okay.
It says Kyrie Irving has informed the Dallas Mavericks he wants to play for the Phoenix Suns next season. The Suns and the Mavericks are in talks on a Kyrie Irving for Deandre Ayton swap that also sends Chris Paul back to the Clippers. Eric Gordon will head to Phoenix, Nick Batum to Dallas. What's the first thing you're doing when you see that notification?
I would not be shocked with that. I would be immediately just like I would be holding my breath. Just like because I think that kind of a trade, it fundamentally changes what the Dallas Mavericks are. All the conversations we've been having the last couple of weeks since the Mavericks, even before the Mavericks were eliminated, about what pieces they need to add, what things to add around Luka and Kyrie, completely change. Because you fix a couple of flaws, because you add a rim protector, you add a rebounder, you got a big man finally. Like you got that guy that you've been looking for I don't know, like since Tyson Chandler basically. Both times. But you lose then your all-time, like your scorer. Like you lose a all-star starter talent in Kyrie. You lose the other scorer, and he makes up for a lot of the deficiencies. And so then, and you also lose a player that steps up in big games and gain a player that does not step up in big games in Deandre Ayton at this point. So maybe a change of scenery. I said when we talked about Ayton a couple episodes ago, we did like our whole first segment on it after he like got benched for Jock Landale in that series. I said they can't do a Kyrie for Ayton trade. It's if it ends up happening, that's probably what happens. But I don't think the Mavs can do it because of how much it would change them and how much it would diminish like the talent. The talent disparity is just so big in that spot.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like how bad is too bad? How bad does something have to get before you just take something as a consolation prize? There you go. You know, if a player's like, hey, I don't want to come back and play with you,
and
like,
I'm an unrestricted free agent, and I'm
or I'm gonna opt out, and he does the whole like, I'll go play with somebody for the MLE, like something like that. Then at that point, you probably just take Ayton and say, all right, well, Ayton, and in this scenario, Ayton and Nick Batum is better than nothing.
This is like the Kevin Durant, D'Angelo Russell trade.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Warriors a couple years ago as well.
Yeah, let me give you another Phoenix one before we had to break a little bit. This one is happening. Let's just say this happens before the draft, okay, or on draft night.
Yeah.
Let's say that Dallas and Phoenix are engaged on a trade centered around Deandre Ayton, despite their pressuring to include the 10th overall pick in the draft. Phoenix is pulling the trigger on a deal. Actually, probably not wording it that way. That would send Deandre Ayton.
Is huge.
Yeah, Memphis isn't in this trade.
Shams has Twitter blue because he can add all the characters he wants to this tweet. It's just the longest run.
Phoenix is sending Deandre Ayton to Dallas for Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxi Kleba, and JaVale McGee. 10th pick stays in Dallas.
Wow. Okay, that one I'm celebrating.
Okay.
That one I'm celebrating and excited because I think Ayton does fix some of the issues for the Mavericks. I think that a change of scenery could help him a lot. Maybe a different coach. Who knows? Like the difference between, I don't know what the difference would be between how Monty Williams handled him and how Jason Kidd would handle him. I don't know if that would be a positive or a negative.
No clue.
Could be a positive in that direction. And I think that he would have something to prove. I don't know if he's up for proving it. But just value-wise, like that, I'm all for that.
Yeah, and for Phoenix, they're swapping out the parts here. They're putting, trading DeAndre Ayton for two guys and Tim Hardaway, Maxi Kleba, and then they get JaVale back as like a backup big, whatever. But it's more about Ayton for those two guys. I think where it could come down to, and this is where I was alluding to that, Mark Stein threw out a similar trade the other day on his podcast with Chris Haynes, and he included the 10th pick.
Yeah, that's tough.
That would be tough for me. Like the 10th pick with multiple players for Ayton. I think that's definitely what Phoenix would want, but I would definitely be way less, probably not excited if the 10th pick is involved.
Yeah. So coming up, what's another headline we're going to get?
Coming up, Dallas and Golden State engaged in trade talks.
Talk about that fake headline coming up. But before we do that, let me tell you about Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy made easy. Prize Picks is a game where you can go and pick 2 to 6 players, and they're over under, or they're more or less on the projections. So you can win up to 25 times your money on this. Go check out prizepicks.com. You can download the app. For example, let's do Lakers Nuggets game 1 of that series. It's an interesting series, the bubble rematch. LeBron James, 25.5 points in game 1, more or less.
More.
Let's go Jokic, 28.5 points, more or less.
More.
Anthony Davis, 22.5 points, more or less. If you say less, that means the Lakers are losing the game because that's
less.
Yeah, that's the way it's been. And then Jamal Murray, 24.5 points, more or less.
Less.
Put $20 down, and all those hit. You can win $100 if you hit the power play. You can win $200 just on $20. So go check it out. They have other stuff too: rebounds, block shots, assists, baseball, soccer, competitive shooting.
Wow.
Tennis.
Dude, the analytics on that.
They got WNBA. Crazy. They got WNBA on here. I was surprised about this. So you can pick.
You went to a Wings game the other day, didn't you?
I went to the Wings preseason game. Yeah, you can check out points per game average on some of these players in the WNBA. So all kinds of good stuff on Prize Picks. Again, use that promo code LOCKEDON and get $100 and with an instant deposit match. So check it out, prizepicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. All right, Isaac, thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, making us part of your day and being part of the Raccoon Squad, being an everydayer. We appreciate each and every one of you. All right, Isaac Harris, hit me with the next fake headline that could happen.
Once again, these are all fake. It is the week before the NBA draft.
Okay, I'm ready.
A Woj little notification goes off the phone, says the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks are in talks to swap the 10th overall pick for Jonathan Kuminga. What is your reaction?
My reaction is interest. Piques my interest. You know how
Okay.
if you talk to a dog and you say something that interests them, like it's a word that they know, they cock their head. That's probably what I do. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in it. The thing about Kuminga, he fits. They need that athleticism on this team. You need a couple athletes. He can defend. He can do some things above the rim that a lot of Mavericks can't do right now. I don't know how that would fit in the Mavericks slow half-court system if they keep that. I think him and Kyrie would gel really well, but I'm not sure what him and Luka are doing that often. The other thing about Kuminga that stands out to me is he's got next year guaranteed, the year after that a team option, and then he's a restricted free agent. So you basically have a year and a half, 2 years to try and figure out what Jonathan Kuminga is to you, when the Warriors have not figured out what Jonathan Kuminga is to them because he did not get much playing time at all throughout the playoffs. And so what does he mean? But he's also only 21, so he's probably younger than some draft guys. I'm going to go look up if he's younger than any draft guys. So what do you think about him?
I would be all about this. I would be actually really, really dang excited about it if this.
He's the same age as Jordan Hawkins from UConn, who's a lottery pick right now.
Hey, he's a pretty good scorer. And no, 6'8", super athletic guy. Obviously, he was in a rotation for Golden State. There's even some reports, came out afterwards that he would welcome a change of scenery if he's not going to be part of a full-time rotation spot there. He was just, but I think for some people they think about it and they're like, hey, Kuminga, he was this super high draft pick, which he was. He was a 7th overall pick, but it's this is the 10th overall pick in this draft. If Golden State's looking at it and saying, all right, he's already not in our rotation. He's just he needs a change of scenery. We need to restart this spot, kind of.
Which he was in the rotation during the regular season. It just came to the playoffs and he ended up kind of falling out of it.
Yeah, so if they just want to kind of restart this spot in the rotation of hey, let's just swap him out with another top 10 draft pick and bring in another young guy in here. This is the type of trade that I would love if Dallas went and did. The athleticism, the size, what you would want to get there at 10. I would just swing on the talent of Kuminga if I was Dallas.
Shot 37% from 3 last year too.
Yeah, it was 2 attempts a game or something like that.
Yeah, it's 2 attempts, but still,
yeah.
Him and Josh Green doing stuff back and forth that's a good wing combo to give you some stuff, and maybe one of them gets hot every night. And we've seen Kuminga kill guys at the rim because he's so athletic and jumps so high.
Yeah, having his athleticism in Dallas would be a lot of fun.
The thing I'm worried about the contract, and yeah, I'm worried about that.
Yeah, but you got some time to figure it out though. Like it's not like he's restricted next year. Like you got another year after that, and then you can figure the stuff out.
Yeah, but you want to look at extensions though. But he is restricted, so then you don't have the Brunson thing.
All right, another one. Free agency day 1.
Oh,
Phone goes off. Mavericks and Warriors are in talks in a sign and trade for Draymond Green, sending Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, and Maxi Kleber to Golden State. Dallas will sign Green to a 3-year, $100 million contract.
3 years, $100 million. This one is one that I'm
prepared for.
I probably need to prepare for. That's a lot of money for Draymond. He would bring a ton of stuff that this Mavericks team needs. Like he checks a bunch of boxes for them. I'm worried about is it the system or is it the player with that, with him? And then I'm worried about losing more rotation players. Like, do they have any mechanisms to bring back more rotation players? Because you basically lose 3, right? It's Josh, Maxi, and Tim. Yeah. You lose 3 rotation players in a team that's already not deep enough and adds Draymond. So it's just Luka, Kyrie,
Draymond at
and Draymond.
$33 million a year, basically.
Right. And so that's just about where I'm hitting my mark of these players I've talked about the last couple of years where I'm like, or the last couple of weeks where I'm like, okay, they just can't bring another $40 million player. It's too hard to make a roster. But 30 is right around there where you could bring in another one to be okay.
Yeah. And how good would Josh Green be in Golden State? Like,
yeah, he'd fit that.
It's like Andre Iguodala just mentor this
him
guy.
and Maxi.
Yeah, he'd be really good. All right, I got another Golden State one for you. This one's gonna like drop your heart for you.
Oh boy. Well, I already fell out of the chair already during the off season. So
this one is a few days before the draft, Monday of draft week. Draft is on that Thursday. Golden State, Shams, notification goes off. Golden State is trading Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody to Dallas for Tim Hardaway Jr., Davis Bertans, Josh Green, and the 10th pick.
Okay. I can't do Jordan Poole. I think that's a terrible contract coming out.
Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody.
That's fine. The other players, I don't even really care about who they are because
for Tim Hardaway, Davis Bertans, Josh Green, and the 10th pick.
Jordan Poole is making 28.7 next year, 31 the next year, 33 after that, 35 the year after that, and they couldn't play him in the playoffs.
I'm not saying I would do it. I'm trying to think of realistic things that could happen.
Right. He was better in the playoffs last year, but like I'm concerned about these type of guys, these Tyler Heroes, these Jordan Pooles. I don't know if they work in the playoffs like this anymore. You have to have guys that play both ends or are so impactful on offense that they just can carry.
Isn't this who we said Jaden Hardy's going to be?
Yeah. So in like 2 or 3 years, we'll have to talk about we'll have to have this conversation about his contract and like what they can give him.
Yeah.
And what his role is going to be. Like these guys are also starters expected to produce. If you have that guy be a sixth man, like a Lou Williams, that's awesome. That's perfect. It's like exactly what you need. But if he's like expected to be a star player, that's hard. Like, those guys can't play 40 minutes.
I was texting somebody the other day and talking about bad contracts in the league, and they're like, "Is he like top 5 worst contract in the whole league?" And
probably
not. When you start looking at his value, that's why you're like, if somebody's asking why would Golden State do this deal, and it's like, all right, they already punted on Wiseman, and like Moses Moody, Kuminga, they haven't been playing for him too much. For them, they're like, I think they would look at this deal and it's like, can we get off Jordan Poole's money? It's going to cost us a couple of our young guys, but we're getting Josh Green. We're getting the 10th pick. Tim Hardaway can definitely play for us right now. Davis Bertans is more of a, hey, he can play for us this year, but it's more of like a, only $5 million guaranteed that next season. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that with Poole.
I feel like Dallas fans are probably in agreement with you that like stay away from Jordan Poole. It's wild because like he had to do enough to get $30 million a year, but
he got
I'm
punched
with you.
by a teammate, so that was what he had to do.
They traded for Draymond and Jordan Poole. And he's like, seriously, come on.
Punched him on the plane on the way here. I mean, his value got pumped up because of that, right? Like his contract got pumped up because of that incident. I think. Is
Kuminga and Moody not worth the dent that you'd have to take into Poole's contract? I'm just trying to play. Is there a devil's advocate to this at all?
I don't think so because
I could see Dallas doing a trade like this.
Yeah,
I could. It's the swing for the Jordan Poole guy. I mean, we're probably getting the same like Christian Wood quotes, except Christian Wood was basically for free. And from Nico, it's like,
and was half the salary of Jordan Poole when he was in Dallas.
But it's like Kuminga and Moody and Anyway.
No, I'm not for that one. I think I would hope that there were other options.
I think I'm with you.
Coming up,
I got more.
Excellent. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. We appreciate each and every one of you being part of the Raccoon Squad. Listen to us daily. Tomorrow we will be giving a lottery preview. We'll go through every single option that will happen for the Mavericks, including if they lose the pick, and talk about what that means for the Mavericks going forward. So we'll give that preview, and then we'll actually do a reaction after the lottery. I'll also be doing a live lottery show on Locked On NBA, so if you want to join me on that, I'll be there with all the hosts, and we'll get to see the reaction, and whoever gets number one, that should be fun.
All right, listen, if you're sub to our subtext, I actually have no plans for the lottery. If you're on our subtext, shoot me a text on our subtext during the lottery, or as soon as the whatever happens with Dallas, and I'll do some instant reactions on there with people.
There you go. Do an instant AMA on the subtext.
Yeah.
Link in the description of the podcast or on YouTube. All right, give me another fake headline that we should react to.
All right, I got to include the other two teams that we haven't talked about that recently got put out, Philly and New York. Which one do you want first, Philly or New York?
Give me Philly.
All right. Here we go. Your phone goes off. You pick it up. It says Dallas and Philly are discussing a deal around Tim Hardaway and Tobias Harris. The deal would include Davis Bertans and Reggie Bullock to Philly, Deanthony Melton and Tobias Harris to Dallas.
The Deanthony Melton and Tobias Harris. I'm fascinated in that. I think that would be a positive overall, because I think Deanthony Melton's exactly what this team needs, because they need another guard defender that can swing between wings. And I think he fits really well. Tobias Harris, his contract is ridiculous. He's making $39 million, and he
expiring.
But it is expiring. It's only 1 year. The Mavericks are giving up.
Melton's also expiring,
and he's making $8 million. What are the Mavericks giving up in this again?
Tim Hardaway, Reggie Bullock, and Davis Bertans.
Yeah. See, I don't think that that's too much. I think that you're basically swapping Reggie for Deanthony Melton, and I would do that a bunch of times over. And then you're taking the contracts of Tim and Davis and turning it into one player in Tobias, and then I think that's fine, because I think Tobias can still play. I mean, he was the leading scorer in this game 7 for them. I mean, he has his moments where he ebbs and flows, but I think he can at least be part of a rotation for sure.
Yeah, and for Philly, Tim's better than Tobias, so I think for them, I think he is.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah,
I think Tobias is better.
So for them, I think they're looking at it and saying, all right, whenever our two stars are not playing very well at all, we at least haven't got another guy, that can, get hot, shoot a ton of threes like Tim. Obviously, the Bertans contract and that. And then like you say, you're swapping out Deanthony Melton for Reggie Bullock. I don't know who would say who's the better player in that.
I think the Sixers have to make a move though, and I think the move is Tobias if they can move him anywhere. But
yeah, I mean that has to be the move after they blow up everything, and
we'll see. We'll see if Doc Rivers has a job by the end of tonight.
He might be an assistant in Dallas.
That would be great, actually.
That'd be kind of funny. All right, here we go. The Knicks was the hardest one, because I honestly think the Knicks are. I mean, they're big game shopping this summer, right? Like more than ever.
They could try.
It's Joel Embiid. That's who they're going to probably try to chase. But if not, they're blowing Minnesota's phones up saying, what do we have to do to get Cat? I mean,
really? You want to go from Randall to Cat?
I think they are. Cat's got a lot of agent ties there. I think surely Towns is viewed across the league better than Randall, right?
Randall just made All-NBA again.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they've made the same amount of All NBAs.
Probably. I just feel like Towns is viewed a little bit better than Randall.
Towns is 2-time All NBA, and I think Randall is now 2-time All NBA. They're very similar players right now, and they both don't show up in the playoffs very often.
That's
so.
true. I mean, I don't own stock on any of the islands, but okay.
Randall in the playoffs last year, 30% from the field. This year, 37% from the field in the 2 series. Not great.
We know New York has liked Reggie Bullock in the past.
Correct.
So here we go. The Knicks and Mavericks are doing business again. New York is sending Mitchell Robinson and Evan Fournier to Dallas for Reggie Bullock, Maxi Kleber, and Davis Bertans. The deal saves money for the Knicks next season and splits the Robinson spot in the rotation into 2 pieces in Bullock and Kleber.
Mitch Robinson would be a great center for the Mavericks. The lob threat with him and Luka would be awesome. Having a guy that could actually get a rebound would be awesome. The problem is, again, hemorrhaging rotation players. You can't just keep hemorrhaging rotation players for starters.
Evan Fournier
did not play a single minute.
I know. That's why I think they would be interested in this deal, because he's like, I'm not coming back next year. So,
well, he is not going to get paid the money.
Fournier and Tim Hardaway in the same.
I mean, he's a DNP, just DNP, not even coach's decision. DNP, like, we don't want to.
Fournier and Tim making $36 million coming off the bench playing the same position would be hilarious.
Right, which is why any kind of fake Fournier trade we've talked about has included Tim in it.
But
back.
Mitchell Robinson would
great.
be a solid center addition. That would help out a lot.
He'd be great. I don't like this deal.
Really?
No.
You wouldn't do it.
So Tim, Reggie, and Maxi?
No, it's Reggie, Maxi, and Bertans.
Reggie, Maxi, and Bertans. So the Mavericks have then Tim Hardaway and Fournier. No, I'm not for that. We don't need this.
Okay, but here's the deal. You're swapping out Fournier for Davis.
Yeah.
And then you're swapping out Reggie and Maxi for Mitchell Robinson. You wouldn't do that. I think I would do that. I don't know why Fournier couldn't play at all.
Fournier is making almost $19 million next year, and then $19 million team option the year after that. So it's technically an expiring 1 year.
I mean, I get it's not ideal to have him and Tim together.
That talked me into it more than anything, really. But
I just kind of like Mitchell Robinson's game, and I think he'd fit great in Dallas.
No, I think he would too. But it's the hemorrhaging rotation players. I think if in a vacuum, if you just said, okay, would a Maxi and Reggie for Mitchell Robinson trade be good? I would be like, yeah, that'd be great, just those two. But just thinking about it in context, like,
yeah,
you go from two rotation players on a weak team to bringing in one.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, could you flip Tim's contract at that point for a wing defender somewhere else?
Have to. You would have to at that point.
Yeah, because you'd still have Josh. So you look at a starting lineup of what Kyrie, Luka, Josh, Mitchell Robinson.
Whatever you do with the 10th pick.
I hope the 10th pick isn't starting.
Well, I mean, but you could trade that and 10 for like a wing.
That's true.
But yeah, you would have to, because then you just don't have enough wings.
Kuminga.
You would like this trade even though you're like wing is more important than center? That's what you've been saying all offseason.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about that's intriguing to me. I think because I still believe a little bit that Fournier could have some moments for a team off the bench. And Mitchell Robinson defending the paint and rebounds.
That'd be great.
This is what they're wanting out there. And Mitchell Robinson makes $15 million a year compared to a Rudy Gobert making 40.
Yeah, it's an amazing contract. He'd be a great player for Dallas. Multiple rotation players hurts.
That's true.
You got any more?
No, I don't, because the time's up.
There you go, guys. Let us know what you think about Deandre Ayton to the Mavericks in the comment section below. Would you take him, considering the cost and the contract and all that? And tomorrow we'll be back with the lottery preview, the full lottery preview. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.